Good morning, everyone. What is going on? We are back again with another episode of the South Florida Gamers Podcast, episode 74. Now, of course, last week when we had Caitlin Quesada, that was episode 74. But the reason why today is actual episode 74 is because after going through all the previous podcasts, I found out that we were like a number off. So I was looking for that one specific episode. Like, are we missing an episode? Because it was an episode 55. So I'm going all the way back to 55, and I'm just like, okay, let me see if everything lines up. And when I checked, we were just a number off. So some of our episodes were just like one number behind. So our episode 69 was actually episode 68.
Rats. We're going to do this again. I'm kidding.
No, we ain't redoing that over again. No,
I'm joking.
I know. But yeah, this is now officially episode 74. So of course, when you're watching this on YouTube, because on YouTube I have everything numbered out, and then of course on Anchor and some of the other podcast audio platforms, I also sometimes I have it'll be numbered so that way okay, I'm looking for episode 63 or episode 42 or episode 10. Mm-hmm. And then you'll find a person like, okay, this is who we had on that episode and whatnot. So yeah, that was a mistake on my end as I'm uploading everything. But today, this is the actual accurate and current number. So yeah, we're just going to go with that. So
yeah, let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was filler. And it was good morning, folks. It's your boy, Waluigi here. Last time we had Caitlin Quesada. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. There was just no chill at all. Love that woman to death. And our latest guest is going to be Superoiram.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Doing good. Alrighty, so this episode of the podcast is available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it. We're on majority of audio hosting platforms, and if you can't find us, then all you have to do is just do a Google search of South Florida Gamers Podcast, and you'll find us on whatever platform that you would like us to be on. So that's that. And then of course video playback is going to be available on YouTube and Facebook later on throughout the week. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of our episode, and that is with our guest Superoiram. So we have a tradition, which everyone, if you are not new to the podcast, you know what the tradition is. Every time we have a new guest, we want to know your background when it comes to gaming. What got you into gaming? We want to know that whole origin story from start to now. So the mic's yours.
All right. Thank you. So my gaming origin. So I started gaming when I was 3 years old.
Nice.
And you know, my oldest sister got me into gaming.
Seriously?
Because she was born literally right in the 80s. So
okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
She got into the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Game Boy.
Oh, you started off good then.
Yeah, I started off good, and then I was born, and then my sister showed me the NES, and then at the time we also had the Super Nintendo coming out, so I got exposed to a lot of games. Then I got exposed to Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country. I got exposed to a lot of third-party games like Batman Returns.
Oh,
that beat 'em up that was on.
Yeah, that's
Super
one of the classics.
Yeah, and then she also showed me Game Boy games as well. Like I got into Super Mario Land, Tetris.
Oh gosh, OG Tetris.
Yes, OG Tetris was weird because I was I didn't really get the concept of it, but then slowly I'm like, oh, okay, so you're supposed to get a line through air.
Yeah.
To go through, and then it gets harder and harder. I didn't get the point of it until I was like, okay.
It makes sense.
So as soon as my sister moved out, I inherited her Super Nintendo along with a library of games, and her Game Boy with a lot of games. And then a couple years later, my mom decided to get the N64 because I was like, oh man, I want Nintendo 64. It looks so cool. It's basically like the next generation. And then mom was like, okay, I'll get it. And she got it for me for Christmas. It came along with like, so my first game I got for Nintendo 64 was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
That's a good game.
Oh.
Like,
Classic.
like, you know, like when I was younger, I was all like, no, I want a lightsaber, you know, I want to like, pew, 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 you know.
So they're like you're playing the character with
But
the lightsaber.
then I found out Dash Rendar, the one you play, is kind of like a bounty hunter.
Oh.
So like I never, so like I was just like, no, I don't like this blaster. Like, but though like I didn't like, I don't know if you remember the first stage of that game that you're driving the snow speeder.
I have seen gameplay, but I never played it.
Okay, so like basically the first stage is basically you're in Hoth and then you drive a snow speeder.
Oh gosh.
Yes, and like as a kid, I always kept on crashing into it. Like sometimes I will go, like I'll be like flying and then oh look, an AT-AT, and I'll just crash right into it.
I understand his logic.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be more of like, kind of like not open world per se, but you know like free flying, you know. But then I got into the other games like Star Fox 64.
Great game.
Yes, it is.
Super Mario 64.
Another great game.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Great game.
Story.
And 64 just had mostly bangers. The other like 25% no one really knows about.
But you still played them either way because
Yes, you
of the
did.
fact that,
Yeah.
hey, it's new, it's interesting. Let's see what it's like. Hey, I'll play it
It's a respectable choice.
for the hell of it because why not? Because at that time when you were young, you were not able to acquire these games on your own. You would have to, rely on your parents to get it for you, relatives, or other friends had the game, and that was like your only time for you to play the game. So
Yeah.
that's how, for me, that's how I ended up playing so many other different Nintendo 64 games, because I just had like that system where if my parents wouldn't get it, then I know some of my friends have the game, and I'll either borrow it from them or I'll go to their house and I'll just play the game.
Like, yeah, I kind of had like that similar thing. Like, I usually had to go to Blockbuster to rent the games. Like all the time, I remember one time I rented. There was a month where I rented Star Fox 64 because I loved that game so much. Like, I would return it and then I'll get another copy. Of Star
Yeah,
Fox
yeah.
64.
The rinse and repeat.
Yeah, like for me, I played the hell out of Star Fox 64. That's granted, Star Fox started on the Super Nintendo, but I think a good number of people that started on Star Fox started with the N64 version
Agreed.
of it.
I can agree with that.
And just fell in love with the game because, like, you're in space, you're shooting down all these enemies. There's also a level where you're in a tank, and there's also another level where you're in a submarine.
Yeah, the submarine level. Yes.
Yeah, it was so dope. I
Submarine level
loved
was
it.
fun.
I just love
Yes.
the dual barrel roll. Like that's the
Oh,
most
yeah.
iconic line. One of the most
Yeah,
iconic.
even like the voice acting was kind of cool too.
Yes, it is.
At the time. And like I also got a little exposed to Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, but not too much. Like my mom's boyfriend at the time was playing it, but I never really had a chance to play it
Oh, okay.
until like later on down the line. Then I'm like, okay. I somehow got a copy of Star Fox from a friend of mine from high school, so it was kind of cool. So going down the line, like outside of like even though I had like a lot of Nintendo consoles, I kind of wanted a Genesis because of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah. I forgot that was like an exclusive at first.
Yeah, I was like I always wanted to play it, but then the only time I got to play it was, I think it was like my sister was dating someone at the time, and their brother had Sega Genesis. And I was like, okay, let me play it. And then
Love that.
I was playing it for a little bit, but I didn't really play it for too long. But then down the line, I was just like, I wish I had gotten a Genesis and then the Dreamcast. So one time, I was meeting my long lost cousin, and he had a Dreamcast, and I was so mind blown.
It is a mind blowing like system.
Like even like seeing like Sonic in 3D, like seeing Sonic Adventure, I was like, oh man, this is so cool. And then Tony Hawk Pro Skater as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Oh man, yeah, I mastered like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater from there. And I'm gonna touch up on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but
Go for it.
so so like I played like Dead or Alive 2, and then like my cousin had a bunch of games and I was like playing them. Like I kind of borrowed them from time to time. Like, oh snap, Sonic Adventure. And actually, I really begged my mom when Sonic Adventure 2 came out. Like, do you remember that commercial of Sonic Adventure 2?
I feel like no.
Like it had like two hedgehogs, and then it was kind of like
I'm
a
gonna look at it.
testing.
Look that up.
Yeah, look it up. It's interesting because it kind of looks like a classified video, and it has like two hedgehogs.
The 1991 one, right?
Yeah, I think it's Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, two.
Yeah.
Whoopsies. I know. As I'm looking this up,
Let's see.
commercial collection, 2 E3 trailer, Japanese commercial. I feel like I'm gonna find just like.
Yeah, it's that. I think it's that one.
Oh, with the actual hedgehogs?
Yeah, with the actual hedgehogs.
I'm gonna keep the volume off just so I can observe this at least. Good hedgehog. I am like low-key impressed that what? The evil hedgehog? What? This is a real nostalgia trip because I have Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Why there's two hedgehogs?
That was also another reason because of Shadow the Hedgehog. I was like, Shadow.
Okay, I didn't
Man, this
realize.
is so
That makes a
cool.
lot.
Like I remember the game. And I remember
2001.
that was like one of the most wanted games of the Sega Dreamcast at that time because it was just so good.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, like I literally had to beg my mom and be like, listen, it's like I have the money I have allowance for this, and then my mom's okay, okay, I'll get it. So she drove me to Toys R Us, and I got like this Sega Dreamcast, and it was like a Sonic bundle. So I came with Sonic Adventure,
Oh,
Sonic
shit.
Shuffle, and a demo of Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, you got a package. Good package.
I did not know
Yeah.
that existed actually.
And then it came with, and the cool thing about it had like a like you remember the memory card for it?
Yes,
Yes.
I
Yes,
remember
the
that.
VMU. Like it was like a transparent blue color. It was so cool. So like I was so memorized, and then I also got Sonic Adventure 2 with it, and I was just so mind blown of how Sonic Adventure, like I was like, forget Sonic Adventure 1, I want to play Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting actually.
Yeah, so like so I plugged it in, and then I'm like, all right, here we go, and I just fell in love with Sonic Adventure 2,
I would too.
and like
I don't blame you.
and through the years I was just like even though I found out that later on in life that they weren't making any more Dreamcast games,
Which
'cause,
sucked,
it was
but-
always like, because it was usually at the time it was like PlayStation, Nintendo, Sega, but then you see Sega like just disappear, and then Xbox. I'm like, Xbox? So is this a Sega system?
It just like suddenly came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's when the next generation of consoles came in, and somehow my mom got me in Christmas a PS2, and along with it, she got me Spyro 2 and 3.
Those are good choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a PS1 at the time, so it was kind of cool just having a PS2.
Yeah, you like advanced a little bit forward
Yeah.
from the 64-bit to was Dreamcast 64-bit? I think it was a
Uh,
little higher, wasn't it?
I think it was either 32.
Oh, okay. I'm about to look this up. I'm doing a knowledge check right now.
Like I know the N64 was a 64-bit, and I know the OG PlayStation was a 32-bit.
I think it might be 64.
I think your processing 256-bit core. No. 32-bit. Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, you literally advanced like two generations. I love that.
Yeah, like with PS2, I had like a whole family of games too. Like I got Jack and Daxter.
Classic.
I got
Banger.
Sly Cooper.
Banger.
Another classic.
Then Kingdom Hearts.
Also a banger.
Yeah,
I have to say that because
Yeah.
one of my friends are a KH fan.
Yeah. Like at that time, I also borrowed a lot of like PS2 games. and and then like and then I remember this one time that I got Smash Bros on 64, and I kind of went back a little bit
Oh,
to N64.
gosh. Just think about it.
Yeah, and then like even though like I had like a few portable like I had like a lot of like home consoles. I really got addicted to the portable consoles thanks to Game Boy.
Yeah.
So
Understand.
I remember this one time when like when Pokemon became a craze at the time with like the first gen. Like all the kids had like Game Boy Colors, and I was the one kid that like
Had the black and white.
yeah I had like the Game Boy, like the OG Game Boy
Yes.
with the giant with like literally like the green screen and
Oh my god.
Yes.
Those
The
are
fat boy ones.
Those are still
Yes.
cool.
the DMG version is what they call it. So it was just like one of the. So like I was like, hey, you want to play? And like the cables didn't really connect.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like
So
one of
no
those
more-
like subtle defects.
So I can't really play Pokemon like with my friends or trade Pokemon.
I can understand.
Like I
that.
said, I had
Yeah,
to rely for a friend to be like, here, use your Game Boy Pocket, or I mean, use your Game Boy Color to get me to trade Pokemons with.
That's smart. Man, I miss those classic days of trading.
Yeah, same here. I mean, if you knew someone that was playing Pokemon and they had like a link cable, because not like for me growing up, like not too many people had like link cables, but if you found someone that had one, you'd be like, bro, you want to trade? You have something you want to trade or whatnot? Because you would trade so that way you would fill up your Pokedex, so that way you can get closer to have just maximize your Pokedex. Like, hey, I got
Oh, yeah.
150 Pokemon. Like that would be the one way to do it, because eventually you can get all the Pokemon in the game, but it's just like, damn, I don't have the other Pokemon that I would get if I were to trade. Like you're looking at thinking if you trade Kadabra, that's how you get Alakazam.
Machamp turns, or I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
Machoke turns into Machamp.
Champ, yeah. Graveler to Golem.
Then Gaslight to Haunter? No, I might be wrong.
I think Haunter to Gengar.
Yeah, Haunter to Gengar.
Thank you.
Haunter to Gengar. So yeah, like even though I didn't have I had like that big boy Game Boy, and then I think the next Christmas, my mom got me a Game Boy Advance,
Ooh.
and it was like that bundle one from Costco. So like
They had bundle ones from. I did not know this existed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Costco sell bundles.
yeah.
Oh, my mind is a little
Costco
blown.
for bundles was like mind blowing. It was like it came in like a giant like it kind of looks like one of those like old school like action figure containers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Does make
I know what
sense.
you're talking about.
So, and it came with a lot of accessories too. Like it had a little bag. It came with Yoshi's Island.
Ooh.
It came with. It also had a link cable. So it was really cool. And
Man,
I was
how'd
like,
you-
yes,
Yeah, you had a good package deal
Yeah,
then.
dude, how'd you feel about the Yoshi Island where you had to tilt your own Game Boy just like you're just like, get this motherfucker out of here?
And- Like I played Yoshi's Island on Super Nintendo, so playing it on Game Boy, I was like, it felt fun.
It's
it was
much
just
better.
I think the only thing was just like the lighting if I'm like playing at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Like
the
I literally had to
struggle was
literally,
real.
Like use a flashlight and be like, all right.
Back in the days.
The struggle was real when you didn't have like a backlit game screen.
And then you had the little book, like the book holders, the book
Yes.
light. You didn't have the real one. You just had a clip that you can just put on nearby and you can just play the game.
Yes, it was so.
The early 2000s. I love the ingenuity that people had.
Yeah, it was all clever, and like like with a lot of the games on Game Boy Advance, like luckily I was able to play most of my Game Boy games because I had like nostalgia for them. Like I had a neighbor give me Super Mario Land 2, and it was
Oh.
the 6 golden coins.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool just like playing that game since I never played it before till like I had it, but but since my neighbor moved, I never gave it back to him. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
so I
cool.
have a free copy of Super Mario Land 2. And I always and then like throughout that decade, I was like sharing games. Like there was a time where my cousin got a PS2, and she had GTA Vice City. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool just having GTA Vice City on.
I forgot it was like Game Boy game actually.
Oh no, it wasn't Game Boy. It was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
PS2.
Oh, yeah,
I should have
that-
clarified that.
No, I'm thinking there's a GTA on the Game Boy, but that's not important.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a GTA game, but
on the Game Boy, but don't play that.
It's terrible. It's really bad.
It's the top down GTA, but it's just like it doesn't give you the same feel as like 3 did when if you played that on the PS2 and you played like the GTA 1, GTA 2, and then 3, you'd be like, holy, whoa, like this is a huge game changer. And then from then on, it just became a revolutionary thing moving forward. So I'd like to give props to GTA 3. And then, of course, they improved it with Vice City.
yeah. And, throughout that whole, like I was saying, like throughout that whole decade, it was always like I always had to borrow games from friends. Because at the time, like we were going through hard times. Like my stepdad had colon cancer, so it was always like I had to like borrow games. So sometimes like I would sometimes rent from Blockbuster, but not as much. But I did get a lot of I did buy some games from time to time. Like I got like Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai. I got also like a few like classic games. But though, like one thing I always wanted to get was a Nintendo GameCube. But I never got it.
Damn.
Same. Dude,
Really?
Me too. I got mine when I was like 5 years ago before everything upsold. I got it at a thrift store, but that's not important now.
Oh man, but
I'll tell you later.
I wish I could have gotten a GameCube. Like, luckily, like my cousin, but like he's also a brother to me. He had a GameCube, and his GameCube was kind of cool because it came with like the little foldable screen. LCD screen. You remember that?
Yes.
I was
Yes.
jealous for people who had that. It's the coolest thing.
I know it was the coolest thing.
Because you don't even need a TV. You just plug it in. You can
Yeah.
play right there.
And then you could just take it on the go.
Exactly.
As long as you found like a power outlet, you were golden.
Literally. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was very cool because like literally it was just like let's play some Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, and we'll be playing that or Melee, and it was like so memorized. I wanted a GameCube so badly, and my mom's like, "No, you're not getting it. You already have a Nintendo." I'm like, "But it's just a PS2." It's like I don't care. It's a Nintendo. I'm like, God damn it.
I understand the Spanish mom logic.
Yeah, like my mom always gave me a lot of like console games like growing up.
Yeah.
So, like I even got my DS as well. Like, do you remember that demo that like on the original DS? Like, remember the original DS had like Metroid Prime Hunters?
Yes.
Yes. I never played it, but
I remember that. Yes.
Like the demo was appealing. Like,
Yes,
it's always so
it
cool.
was. It was so
Like
cool.
using the touchscreen and you're just like Metroid first person. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
And then when they remade Super Mario 64 DS,
Mm-hmm.
and with DS, like that's where I got my first Mario Kart actually.
That's new, actually. That's the first time I've heard.
Yeah.
Because I've
Yeah.
heard people say N64. I haven't heard anyone say NES yet.
No, I don't think on Mario Kart
No,
existed
Mario
for
Kart never
the
came out on
the NES.
Oh,
It started
I'm
with
sorry.
the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it started with Super Nintendo.
Okay, as NES.
Yeah, it was Super Mario Kart, then Mario Kart 64, then Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. Then you had Mario Kart.
There's like 8 of them.
Yeah.
What the? Never mind. Never mind.
Like, do you remember? Actually, do you guys remember Diddy Kong Racing?
Yes.
That was
I
the one
still-
game. That was
dude,
my
Golden
racing
game.
game.
Bro, I still have a copy.
Goated game.
I
I wish Nintendo brought back that game.
They're
Diddy
not.
Kong Racing is so
They
underrated.
bring it back on DS, like a remake on DS. Like,
We talking about this year.
oh no, like
I know.
years ago.
Yeah, Nintendo
But yeah,
needs to
like
bring
Diddy
that
Kong
back.
was literally like one of my favorite racing games.
They're
Yes.
fumbling right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, bro, bring back Diddy Kong Racing if you want
For
more.
real.
That, or at least bring it back.
Like,
for the
or bring it
Switch.
back onto the Switch Online.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like,
Because that'd be fun racing with the
yeah,
homies.
racing with your friends. Just like how we're having with GoldenEye.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, like they'll bring back GoldenEye, but it's like, bro, y'all not gonna bring back Diddy Kong Racing.
GoldenEye
Like,
is on
Yeah.
Xbox. Fun fact. If nobody knew.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro. Like,
Yeah, like the one with like the thing with GoldenEye also, it's a little weird the controls.
Yes,
I've never played
it's
it.
really freaking weird. I'm glad they made it like console wise. They modernized it.
Yeah, but the controls on Switch is like it's a little weird. Like I don't know, like you have to like it's literally like to shoot is like
Yeah.
on 2 triggers. It's a little weird. I don't know if you ever played it.
I have a long time ago, but I never really memorized the controls. But how'd you feel about Mario Kart? I'm sorry, Super Mario 64 DS.
Super Mario 6. I loved it. Like even though it had
So
little
weird.
extra steps, like it was a technical marvel, because like seeing like Super Mario 64 on the go, and then like bringing in additional characters like Luigi,
Wario, Yoshi, like it was just crazy.
and then like they also doubled up the stars too. So like
Yes.
so like you had to get like I think like for Final Bowser it was 70, and then I think they increased it to like 90.
Yeah, because you had more routes
Yeah.
than the actual
Yeah,
game.
like yeah, and then like some of the levels were made specifically like for
certain characters.
for certain characters
Or certain like abilities for certain characters. It was really like it was mind-boggling for me.
like with those games too, like with also like with Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart was really my first time like online gaming. So when I got Mario Kart DS, it was like I was like, what is Wi-Fi? Like I see like that Wi-Fi thing.
What is the Wi-Fi going on?
I was like, what is Wi-Fi?
Better
And then
pronunciation.
and then I find out I was like, oh, it's online gaming. I'm like, online gaming, so I could play with friends.
Well fed. I felt fed
And then,
100% to my soul.
And then like there was this one get together I went to, and at their house they had Wi-Fi, and I was like playing, and I was playing like Wi-Fi, and I was playing like Mario Kart on the go, like online. I was like, oh man, this is so cool.
That is.
So that was like literally like my first experience with online gaming. Like I did play online, like within the later years, I did play online with like Halo 2,
yeah.
and you know, like I never really got that much online gaming until my mom actually got Wi-Fi around 2006.
Impressive.
So it's kind of cool. Like it was kind of cool, like playing like online Wi-Fi, and then like my best friend at the time like was like, oh, I got Wi-Fi too. I'm like, oh shit, let's play Mario Kart, and then we played Mario Kart. Like, so with like even though I have had too much experience with Xbox, like my cousin had an Xbox mainly, but I rarely see him from time to time. Like once he had a girlfriend, it was like, well,
There goes this time.
yep, there goes the time.
Pain.
And with a lot of the games, it was just online actually. So anyways, so with Mario Kart, I'm sorry, I'm like a little,
Yeah, Mario
No,
Kart
no,
Online.
take-
You're
take
fine.
take your time.
It's still morning.
yeah, I know.
Did you ever use PictoChat?
Yes, I have. Oh my
I feel like at least everyone has had to use PictoChat at least once in their lifetime. I did it when I was in DC on a flight trying to make friends with my own classmates. Luckily, sadly, it did not work. But anyways,
There was a lot of degenerate stuff going on in PictoChat.
see,
I can.
I was in
Yes.
elementary school at the time, so like we were all just innocent.
Oh man, with Pickle Chat, I remember one time I went to a doctor's appointment. I had my DS on me, and then I was like looking. There were a couple kids like on their DS. I was like, oh, and then like I entered their Pickle Chat, and we're just like, huh? It's like, who's this? Oh, I'm a kid like right across the room from you. And then he was, and it was kind of cool because like, oh, it's like, do you guys? It's like, it was like, would you guys be down for some Golden Eye on DS? I'm like, Golden Eye on DS? Show me.
That's awesome.
So like it was like a good hour and a half just playing Golden Eye. I think it was like Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the sequel to Golden Eye.
That's hilarious. Man, you don't do it. You don't see that as often as you do. Like actual scanning nearby for other people online.
Yeah.
Well, mostly because Wi-Fi's in certain places suck, but that's not important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely was. Wi-Fi in the early days were very. It was
very
unique.
rare to find Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Many places didn't have it.
so if you wanted like to play like I remember like McDonald's also had like Wi-Fi.
The stereotype.
Those like
of
the
Wi-Fi
only
is-
areas that had Wi-Fi at the time.
The stereotype, the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, still one of the best insults to this day.
Yep.
What is this McDonald's Wi-Fi you're having?
For
Yeah.
And you're playing games like Halo or Call of Duty.
Yes. So later down the line, I think after the PS2 era, we had the PS3 and 360 era, and I begged my mom to try and get me a PS3, but y'all know how
Expensive.
how expensive it
Yes,
was.
it
Yeah,
was.
$600.
I never even got one.
$600 for a PS3.
and it was big.
It was bulky.
The thing
too.
is a tank.
Even though it played all PS1, PS2 games.
That thing was a mechanized turtle, literally.
And then if you remember the side, it had like that Spider-Man font.
Yes. I never got one.
So I never got a PS3 till later down the line. So my mom ended up getting me an Xbox 360, and then along with it, I got Halo 2. So
Nice.
I got my more online gaming from Halo until, like, at first I was like, oh man, like it was a little weird when I got an Xbox because I wanted to play online. It's like, oh, you have to pay online. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to pay
The
online.
$14.99 for like 3 months and stuff.
No,
like
no, no.
that.
It was Microsoft points.
Oh, yeah. That.
Yeah, I had
that
to
lame
redeem
shit.
Microsoft points just to
Play
get
online.
the 1 year.
I'm saying it's like $15 for the points just so you have like, or I think it was like $60 a year. I don't know.
I know it was like, I remember it was like 50 a
It's
year.
just stupid pricing.
And then I'm like, okay, I'll get it. So I was playing with my cousin, and then later down the line, I got Halo 3. Then I got Call of Duty 3, and I got Sonic 06.
Oh.
Oh, you poor
And
soul.
somehow I beat it. I don't know how, but I beat
Sonic
it.
06. I'm sorry, man.
It was, even though it was glitchy, I was like, no, I can go through this.
You have to
And
go
then I
through
beat
it,
it. I'm like,
And you are a much braver soul than me because I put that damn game down. I was
I'd
like,
rather play Dark Souls than deal with that.
and it was like at first I was like, man, why is it so challenging? And then later on in life, I was like, I find out, it was like the most buggiest game, the most shittiest game. I was like, god damn.
That was when Sega just dropped the ball. About one time. One of the many times.
Yeah. And with 360, it was like, okay, I got a lot of the games too. Like I got Live and Reloaded on there. I
Ooh.
got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games, and then I got to Guitar Hero. Like Guitar Hero 3. Oh my gosh, like
Wait, I have a serious question.
What's up?
Did you go through the Modern Warfare chats online?
yes.
We have to ask that to
I
everybody.
have.
yes.
That's a new tradition.
Yes, I have, and they're hysterical. They're like, shut up, kid. And like all the profanity you hear out of there was insane.
It was a glorious time to be alive.
It's like I say, it's
like even the Xbox, even like the Halo chats were kind of.
Oh yeah, the Halo, yeah, especially with Halo 3.
Oh my gosh,
they were toxic,
They were really toxic.
especially if you're playing free for all and everyone's
Oh my
on.
gosh,
Oh,
in Slayer. Like
played
you had
Halo
like those
muted.
kids. You really had those kids that just like, I got you, noob. And then they'll just like teabag you.
Yep, the teabagging.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that's real.
Like
I'm
I
having
can't stand
flashbacks.
the people. I can't stand the people that had like their mic literally like so close to their mouth.
Oh my god, and they're just like you hear their nose breathe and their
Yes.
mouth breathe.
They're like, I got you, kid.
Literally, it is the most annoying thing.
Oh my god.
Like people are like, "Why are you breathing hard?" I'm just always congested. There's no like, even if I put it a mile away, you can still hear my nose going. Like it's just very bad.
And then when you hear a girl in the chat,
And
like,
everyone's-
you have like all these guys just get into their edgy voices, and it'll be like, "Hey, baby."
Oh God, I
Like, do you?
cringed.
Listen, I have my online stories, and
We all
like
have our
yeah,
online
yeah,
stories.
it never ceases to amazes me because of the fact that back at that time, not everyone had like really good gaming headsets, so you got whatever you got.
You got-
and
I had to use like the little headset that came with the Xbox.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the wireless
yeah,
one.
yeah, I think a lot of people had that, and yeah, it was okay for what it was used for the time being. But once more companies started making more headsets with better audio quality, if you had the money, you would go get it. If you didn't, then guess what? You're gonna stay stuck with that bad mic quality for time in and time out. And honestly, either way, you get to hear the other person on the other side, and if they rage, it's a really good thing.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good thing, and it's like, man, I wish we had capture devices back then to capture some of
There's
these
so many
moments.
moments in gaming that, like, especially like on Xbox.
That people have their voices all loud and everything else.
Yeah.
The voice
Like,
messages
even-
that people send you.
Even like
not
all the
racist.
maps, like in Halo 3, I had a friend of mine in Forge that he made like this map, and in one of the rooms, like as soon as you go in there, it's just like massive explosions, and you just keep respawning in there.
It's an
and
endless
it's just
loop.
like endless explosions.
What?
Yes.
I remember in Halo 3, me and my friends, we would have this one map where, what's it called? It's called High Rise in Halo 3. And we would get all the power coils, and we would put it like center of the map. So if you were to walk through it or even drive through that the power coils and whatnot, if someone threw a grenade, you was like instantly dead. And in that map, since we decided to be like, you know what, we're gonna make this as broken as possible, we put nothing but power weapons in that map. Like we took out all the regular weapons, no DMRs. You could have the assault rifle, no sniper rifle. It was just rocket launchers, like any
The
power
Spartan
weapon.
laser.
Spartan laser, energy sword, shotgun. We also had the invisibility
Yes.
ones, and then nothing but grenades. So it was like nothing but
Jesus.
grenade spam, the plasma grenade spam, the firebomb, the sticky grenade. I mean, it was just pure, utterly chaos, and that's exactly what we wanted, just pure, utter chaos, to the point where now the match can go, it can favor either side. It just depends on how spammy you want it to
The
be.
spammy you want.
Do you remember the Sword Slayer?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those are like so chaotic.
Yes.
Yes.
Like even like those moments where like you're kind of like you see someone and then you guys just
Duke it
clash.
out.
It's like, psh.
It's like who's gonna get hit first,
Yeah.
and no one could tell frame data on that one.
No, that was the best thing about it. Oh man,
There was no timing. It's just like either hit now or you die.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, I also remember those moments where you had the plasma grenade, and then as soon as if you get like killed and you throw the plasma grenade at someone,
Yes.
and it's just like, and it just explode.
Explodes.
I felt
Yeah,
that was,
like
the
even
most-
though you're dead, it's like, hey, my grenade killed you.
It's
Yeah.
like
it's like I
overkill.
died, but then I got you in the afterlife. Karma's a bitch.
It's like a small.
So mostly I enjoyed a lot of like the 360 gaming era, but then it wasn't until I faced my first broken console with Xbox.
Red Ring of Death.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, boy.
the
We-
Ring of Death.
I had
We-
to go through it.
We've all went through the Red Ring of Death, and it's just like,
I ended up getting the newer Xbox afterwards.
Oh my god! I had the original Xbox, and then when I got that Ring of Death, I was like, no. And at the time, I think we were like in a recession, and
That's where everything sucked. Getting a
Yeah.
console in the first place.
getting a console, and
I had to wait like 6 months to get another one, and I had to play like certain games.
It sucked. Like as much as I love the Xbox 360, when we had to go through the red ring of death, and it was like, okay, maybe this is just like a, a small little issue, and then until you hear that, no, there's a lot of people going through it, and then the stories of people saying that they had to wait a month, a year just to get their Xbox.
Man.
It was just like, I think that's what made like a lot of people be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the PlayStation at that point because
And then there was that incident with PlayStation.
right, like the PlayStation,
with the yellow blinking light of death.
yeah,
Yep.
with the yellow light of death. And
What? No, I was also talking about how most accounts got hacked in less than one day. But
Yeah.
I didn't know about the yellow light of death too.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
PS3 and Xbox 360, we went through some bullshit time.
That was just like the console war was on a pause, and they're just like, "Yo, fuck everybody."
Like surprisingly at the
Dreamcast?
time, I also had my Wii. So, but I wanted like to play more of like the online games.
Oh, you can't go wrong with the Wii at all. There was
No.
nothing wrong with the Wii.
No.
Like I loved like a little bit of the online games. Mainly, I played Mario Kart Wii and Raw.
That's good.
So I had those with me, but unfortunately, I had like that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get a job to fix my Xbox.
Yeah.
And like at the time, I was a little hesitant on getting a PS3 until they announced a Sly 4 for the game. It was called Sly Cooper Face in Time.
Yes.
Yes.
So as soon as they announced that, I'm like, fuck, now I need a job and a PS3. So during that whole summer, I was working at a summer camp. I was working at a summer camp, and I had, and like even though I was getting paid like weekly, I wasn't making that much money at the time, but I was able to get a new Xbox. Actually, like a friend of mine repaired my original Xbox 360. Then he was just like, then I had my original Xbox. I'm like, you know what? I want the Slim. So just in case if this ever happens again. So I traded it in and got a Slim.
Smart.
Then a couple weeks later, I got a PS3 and I got that used big boy chunky.
You were one of the lucky ones.
And luckily I was able to play Sly 4 with it. But I also caught up with some of the PS3 games like Little Big Planet,
Ooh.
MotorStorm, I also like borrowed games as well, like Metal Gear Solid 4,
That's understandable.
and I also had like God of War. Like that's where I also like got like most of the remastered games too, and I saw a difference with them.
Yeah, you
Like-
see the night and day difference with some games.
Exactly, like Sly Cooper. Like I borrowed the original Sly trilogy, complete difference. So I was like, man, this looks so crisp. I love it.
Oh yeah, like you see the textures, the shadings. It looks the same game but tuned perfectly.
And literally, like those 3 Sly games were the only ones that I platinumed. Like that's like
Dang.
those are like my platinum games. Like on PlayStation.
Oh, blame you.
And then like I enjoyed PS3 down the line. And then in 2013 is when the PS4 arrived.
Yep.
I was sold with Final Fantasy 15. And,
A lot of us were.
And
until-
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mhm.
So luckily, I was able to get a PS4, and that's when with PS4, like I was focusing mainly on school. Like I played some games on PS4. Like I was able to play Final Fantasy 15,
Ooh.
and
That game is a disappointment to me.
I'm
I just
shocked to hear
felt
that.
I love the gameplay.
Yeah.
It was a nice fresh breath of air.
Mm-hmm.
So with Final Fantasy 15, like I love the gameplay. Story, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
that too.
Like, and I just didn't like how like the first half of the game was so open world and everything, and then it got so linear in the second half,
Yeah.
and then that's
You were
where
the
choices
first
were
to-
made.
You were the first to say something different about it. Because I've heard most people say good things, but when it comes to that like portion, I haven't got a chance to see the gameplay or never got a chance to truly play it.
And then it was also kind of bullshit, like how they decided to add, like they put a lot of plot holes into that second half.
Oof.
So like literally you had to buy 3 more DLCs
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
of all the characters in your group, like they have like their own separate story, and I'm just like, why couldn't y'all not put all
Like-
of this in?
Like I remember
one
like
whole-
episode Gladio being like, when he had to like disappear for a bit, it's kind of like his, when he got like his mark of mastery kind of thing.
Yeah,
Interesting.
And then with Pronto, they somehow gave him like a Metal Gear Solid kind of story.
Huh.
Like remember he had like that lost past that didn't really talk about. Yeah, it was.
Wasn't there like another expansion called the Shadow Realm or something?
no, like
Different Final Fantasy?
they had one with the antagonist of the game. I forgot his
Prince.
because there was one of the guy with the glasses. There was one of Pronto, one of Gladio, and then one with the antagonist. Like you had like 4 different DLCs telling all of their stories and whatnot. And
That
I'm just like,
sounds excessive.
yeah. And I'm just like,
And it sounds like a waste of money because you're buying a game with another few games.
right. And I'm just like, why couldn't all of this be added into the main full game to give us that, unique experience for just one solid price? Because you look at past Final Fantasy games, I'm not counting 13 because everyone says 13 is ass. But you look at Final Fantasy 12, you look at Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 10. Even though 10 is, there's
all right.
Yeah, it's all right. But
I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, even though like I was like mind blown with the CGI cutscenes.
yeah. And then you're just like, man, we had like back in the PS2 era, we had like quality Final Fantasy games that gave us like hours and hours of content.
Even
And then,
PS1.
yeah.
Or even, NES didn't have cutscenes, but that's not important.
Yeah, but so I'm just like, we had so much content, and then of course, hours of playtime with these games to the point where you could play this game for like 200-300 hours, and you're just like, oh wow, I am now just finding out about this, and you're playing through the game over and over again because the replay value back then was so high for these games. Now, fast forward now, and you're just like, what the hell? And it's like, what the hell? Like, it's like I played a game, I beat it. I'm not gonna want to replay it again.
Yeah.
So more on PS4. What else have you played?
So I played Rocket League. I played Mortal Kombat. I grew up in Mortal Kombat literally since the
Wait.
Super Nintendo.
Same here.
I was about to say the SNES. Oh well, I knocked my glasses off it.
Like with the since Super Nintendo.
Same here.
Like I grew up with it, and throughout each console generation, I did play Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
Even with the PS3, like when I got PS3, I got Mortal Kombat 9 on there.
AJ would go nuts now if he heard this.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. And then with PS4 with Mortal Kombat X.
Ooh.
That's the best.
Honestly, yes, best movement, everything.
That I rank, even though a lot of people say that 11 in terms of like the character, like the character models, like how very refined and refreshed that they look compared to X.
Yeah.
I would say 11 got it with visuals, but when it comes to the gameplay and the mechanics,
It sucked.
it sucked. And not only that, it felt as if it's they like toned it down and made it a lot easier because
It felt
X.
slower, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then with X, you had, of course, your combo breakers. Like, if you're in the combo, you could just, break it off, reset back to neutral. Versus in MK11,
You have armor.
yeah, you had
That
a
could
little
get
armor,
armor.
but you could still get grabbed.
And it could still be broken through, depending on the moveset you have.
Yeah, and then, of course, you also have the stupid little gimmick of, hey, even though you wasted you used your fatal blow, which they replaced the X-ray with, at least with X-rays, like, once you used it, if you miss, you lost your whole meter. So it was like risk and reward kind of thing.
With
Like,
a fatal blow, you can recycle it for the next round or until you can use it again.
yeah, and then, of course, with X, it was like, you have 3 meters, you can, extend your combo longer to do even more damage, or, at least have 2 to where you can break out of a combo if you're getting beat badly. With 11, it's just, oh, you use your meter, don't worry, it's going to refill right back up. And I'm just like, yeah, I had fun with 11, but it was just the fact that,
It was way too cheesy.
yeah.
Yeah, like even like the whole story for Mortal Kombat was a little weird too.
It was
because,
cheesy. Towards the,
like 11. It's like let's bring back the characters from the 90s. I'm like,
I
oh.
liked the look and the attire, the aesthetics, but story wise, it didn't feel too. I could still respect it, but not as much as I.
Like even like the whole entire series of Mortal Kombat, like the first 8, it was just like it had like its own story. But then when 9 came out, it was like, oh, time loop, and we had to prevent.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
It's like it wasn't a paradox. It was just like a restart.
Like it was like a restart of the universe.
'Cause it was-
Which with MK9, it made sense.
Yeah.
MK11 rebooting everything, that don't make sense because when you look at the timeline of 9, then X, and then all the way up until 11, you're just like, why reset from 11 when you already have 2 good solid timelines of MK9 and MKX? MKX was introducing new characters that would, eventually be like the new protagonist because, hey, some of the characters that we have are growing old. Eventually, you want to bring in a new generation, which I'm completely fine with if it's done correctly. Now, we're going to reboot everything. Why? It makes no sense.
It's pain.
My biggest letdown with MK11's storyline was that they build up Raiden, who had who was literally about to be corrupted with the Jinsei, because he Cassie Cage beat his Shinnok, got the Jinsei. Raiden took the Jinsei, and then you see Raiden a little bit corrupted. Then MK11 comes. Kronika is now the new antagonist, and then Raiden, who was supposed to be corrupted and evil or whatnot, fade away. Write him off, and I'm just like.
What?
That makes no fucking sense because my thing is, if you wanted to give Liu Kang a redemption arc to make him, come back from, as a revenant to back to human or whatnot, then set it up to where Liu Kang and Raiden are like the final fight, rather than it's gonna be Liu Kang versus Kronika or Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. I liked Aftermath. I liked how they did it with Aftermath. I'm fine with the Aftermath storyline, but the fact that they wrote out
A corrupted Raiden.
That could be a potential new antagonist, because that's never been done, where you have a protagonist that ends up becoming an antagonist, and it's Raiden. And if Liu Kang beats Raiden, he becomes the new Fire Thunder God.
But they kind of
that would make a lot of sense.
They kind of just gave it to him because they saw all. I think the past Raiden saw all the fights that they've done in different dimensions, where it's like, history will be repeated no matter what we do. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say let it ride or have a multiple story endings. Like Aftermath did it okay with the 2 different endings you could have.
Yeah.
But we obviously know what's the real ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
which was kind of meh.
Yeah, it was, and it was just like, why are they rebooting this shit again? Like, I would have been fine. Like, okay, you're gonna make Cassie Cage like the new Sonya Blade, like a hybrid of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage. I'm completely fine with that. When they didn't bring back Takeda,
but they brought
who was in,
Jackie.
Oh yeah, he was in X, right?
Yeah, he was in X, and I'm just like, y'all don't bring him back.
Yeah, it
in
was a little
11.
weird because they developed a huge story for Takeda.
Yeah.
But then in 11, it's like, where do you go?
And then you had Kung Jin, who was a cousin to Kung Lao with the bow and whatnot. He's not in 11, and I'm just like, why would you bring these new characters in X?
What's very interesting, his story was actually good, and then his personality, and then the interactions.
Yes.
Because he was ashamed of joining the Kung Lao because he was gay, and not many people registered that.
Yes.
And then people it was a very subtle hint that NRS is like, hey, we care about you guys, we care about the demographic. That's their way of showing it.
Yeah.
While beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and now it's all of a sudden, okay, we're going to bring back some of these old characters. Fine. I don't mind if you bring up old characters, but give more light and, of course, more of a precedent to your newer characters that you're going to introduce for the next generation. Jackie Briggs eventually, ends up replacing Jax, except that she doesn't lose her arms like her dad.
Yeah.
It's just modified.
Yeah. So you have these new characters, and then of course you can continue to keep introducing new characters. I like how they kept Devora. Granted, Devora
And they kept Aaron Black too.
they kept Aaron Black.
Kotal Khan.
They kept Kotal Khan. And I'm like, okay, keep these characters because they're new. You can introduce them and give them more of a better storyline. And then, of course, the previous Mortal Kombat cast that we're so accustomed with, they start taking a step back and giving him more push towards the new generation. Like, I would love to see like how Liu Kang becomes the new Elder God while Raiden takes a step back. Like, if they set up more MK11 to the way where Liu Kang and Raiden, they fight, that's the final fight, it would have been a good sell-off. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and I was so mad for that. And I'm like, I'm not gonna forget another run for this shit. I will continue to keep bitching about this for years down the line because it's like, yo, y'all fucked up.
Until we stop the podcast at this point.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up a really good. Y'all fucked up a really good storyline from MK9 to MKX. MK11, y'all completely dropped the ball, and nah.
Now for a little off topic. Well, we're already off topic, but did you hear about MK12?
Well, yeah.
That has to be the worst way to announce it.
Yeah.
Like in a conference call, I'm like, where's the trailer? You know, I kind of wanted to see like a good trailer.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I think Ed Boon was ready to hide it for another year, in my personal opinion.
Or at least announce it and release it around Evo because, Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be at Evo. And if you remember on Twitter, I was bitching about that.
Yes.
I was like, why the fuck this game is going to be at Evo?
But all the retirees of MK from the competition are like, you know what? Doesn't hurt to go back one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like MK would have dropped if the shareholders didn't have an announcement. So I feel like Warner Brothers kind of saved Ed Boon this time. That's just a personal opinion. I might be wrong, but they can only do so much with a terrible HBO movie animation.
Oh my gosh, the
good
movie.
animation. Now, if Cole's a character, I am not putting any money to Warner Brothers. What are the odds? Should we now predict this? That Cole's going to be like a side character?
They better not. They
That'd
better.
be terrible.
Do your famous uppercut, Dad. That was the dumbest thing.
I have never cringed so hard in my life, and I just like.
Do your most.
I wanted to walk out the movie theater when I saw that shit, and I'm just like, you know what? No, I need to sit here and stay to the end and watch it. And I'm just like, bro, this is the worst fucking movie. This is. I'll give you credit. Armageddon, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Yes, it was bad. It was cheesy.
It's better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We're not even getting paid for this.
Yeah. But I'm just like, oh my god, how could y'all just? Oh my god. The only person that carried the movie was Kano.
Yep.
Kano carried
Kano
that
and Kung
movie.
Lao.
Yes.
Kano and Kung Lao carried that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Until they killed off Kung Lao, I was like, no,
Then that's Kano who got killed off.
you killed off the best character. And then Raiden was only just like a side character.
Literally.
And
he
like-
didn't do shit.
I think the one thing I was really disappointed in the movie with was, how they kind of advertised it like it was going to be the Mortal Kombat tournament. It's like, no. But then when you saw the movie, it was like, no.
There's no more.
There's no tournament. It's only just
It's a street fight.
basically.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing that Cole is descendant of Hisashi, aka Scorpion. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They really built plot for this shit.
And then like the little signet that each character had, it was like, in order to get that signet, they have to beat the character. So, and Cole's was just so disappointing too. It was like, oh, just armor.
That's it.
Yeah,
All the ass
basically,
kicking
it
you
was just
need.
like when you faced
I know.
against Goro, it's like he had like his daughter's bracelet, and it was like, okay.
And then he
you
had these tonfas, and I'm just like,
They really put no effort. The CGI was a lot more effort than the actual movie.
Yeah. Like one character that actually caught my attention in the movie was Cabal.
yes.
Yes.
Cabal was badass.
Oh my God.
Yes,
I love
they done Cabal
His
right.
outfit, his voice, the VA, like they didn't have to bring lore or anything. It's just straight up like, you motherfucker, you're back again.
It's like-
the Kano.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you want? All right, let's keep moving forward.
Yeah, because
I can go on.
I can go on with that Mortal Kombat movie.
I'll
like,
just close off this off topic. It's just like MK12, don't fuck up.
Yeah, seriously, please don't. Like,
Now that we
same with you. I grew up with Mortal Kombat. That was literally my first fighting game. I've played every Mortal Kombat game to ever be out. I have majority of the PS2 disc. I have Deception. I have Annihilation. Deception, Armageddon, Deadly Alliance. Of course, I have MK9. I have MKX still. I have MK11. I have the Mortal Kombat collection. And I gotta find MK4, and I gotta find MK Gold. So,
MK Gold.
yeah, I gotta find those games so that way I have a true complete collection. I am not getting Mortal Kombat Special Forces because that was a dog shit game. I don't care what most people would agree with me. Mortal Kombat Special Forces was dog shit. Worst fucking game that they've ever made.
Not even a Sub-Zero game?
Okay, yeah, you're right about that.
Sub-Zero was terrible too.
Yeah, that one was terrible too.
That's terrible in its own terms.
Gosh.
Like at that time they were just going through something. I'm just gonna call those games. Those are the filler games. Everything else is just like canon. Everything else is canon.
It's a trial,
Special
it was a trial
Forces
run.
and Sub-Zero Mythologies. I'm sorry, those were just filler. Like fuck both those
Okay,
games.
we need to purify this chat. So, what were your favorite games out of the current generation? Actually, we still haven't finished your generation. So.
Yes, I'm almost done with it.
All right.
So, at the time I was like in school, but though like I also had like my Wii U game. I also got a Wii U.
Oh, snap.
Also had my fair share. Obviously, Mario Kart, Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
I got into Pikmin 3, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze.
Oh yeah, that game looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I played a lot of Wii U, and then even though Wii U was like a favorite console, I enjoyed a lot of those games, especially when they did the remasters for Zelda games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Zelda is one game that like, I kind of didn't play it Ocarina of Time till high school.
I could say the same.
Like in high school, I had one of my friends had Wind Waker, and he's like, I'm like, oh, I have this charging cable, but I don't use it anymore for Xbox. And he's like, oh, well, you can have my Wind Waker for the charging cable. I'm like, okay, deal. So we traded, and it was like the best trade I ever did, because once I played Wind Waker and beat it,
It's a fun game actually.
Like I know a lot of people hate on it, but
I respect it. I like.
I
the animation.
enjoy the hell out of it.
Toon Link is entertaining.
Yeah, especially like the whole entire lore they brought behind it. Sailing day and night.
Yes.
I think remember the biggest challenge being the Triforce quest.
I actually forgot about it.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't played a lot of Zelda. That's like the
I
only
played-
ones that I've played was just like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. That's as far as I go.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, Minish Cap, Twilight Princess,
Minish Cap.
and I never played the newer ones. Minish
you-
Cap was my favorite.
Yeah, so yeah, with Wind Waker, it was like since you had to get the last piece, you had to get the Triforce, but the Triforce was shattered, so you had to go to like everywhere around the map just to get the Triforce pieces. Then you go against Ganondorf and beat him.
Oh,
So yeah, it was a little interesting. It was interesting, and then I got the remastered versions along with Twilight Princess, and then down the line I got a Nintendo Switch. I rebought some of the games that I had on Wii U, like Mario Kart,
Okay.
Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, and then I got most of the newer ones like Breath of the Wild, and then Super Mario Odyssey.
How did you feel about Breath of the Wild?
Well, I was expecting to be like an ordinary Zelda game.
It is not.
It was not. So literally, like I had like I'm like, oh, this is a cool sword, and then it just shatters. I was like, what? The sword shattered on me?
I feel like this game teaches you resource management at its finest.
Yes.
I loved it.
And then like I got used to the mechanics because I was just like, I'm like, this is a weird Zelda game, and then and then I got used to the mechanics, and then you could get and then you get equipment to armor yourself a little more.
Oh yeah.
It had like that bit of Dark Souls they added to it, so I was like, okay. Like with like the art, with like the equipment. So like I got my Switch, and then with PS4, I was like on and off until like I played 15. Then I played Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ooh.
And Kingdom Hearts 3, I was disappointed about.
Same.
I've heard that. I know some people love it. Actually, I know one person that loves it.
Me too.
Like,
Please clip that for later. Please clip that.
so with the Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, it was cool, cool at first, you know, like the open world. I remember going like, I think it was like 2 months before Kingdom Hearts 3 release. Disney had like a demo, had like a store, like a pop-up shop.
Oh, yeah,
for
they did.
Kingdom Hearts 3, and they had it like in Disney Springs.
Oh, I know everyone went nuts over that.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like I remember HMK was there, and it was, and like literally there was a line for the PS4 version of Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yes, but I didn't play the PS4 version. I went with the Xbox. I was like, okay. So it wasn't like, it was like, I think it was like an hour or so, and then, you know, me and my cousin were like discovering we were discovering Disney Springs, and then we were about to get on the bus until we got the call saying like, oh, you're up next. I'm like, okay. So we went back, and then we were able to play the demo of Kingdom Hearts 3. It was like,
Snap.
it was really cool. You know, I had like a fun experience playing Toy Box. I think the Toy Story world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I really enjoyed that world, and then, you know, I was like amazed. But then like when I got the full game, you know, I enjoyed it, except for Arendelle was a little weird, especially when they added Let It Go into it.
Oh, Frozen.
Yes, they added Let It Go, and it was like, I'm like, okay, is this necessary?
They want to get every Disney fan humanly possible.
Yeah.
Basically,
With Marvel, it's a contract. I don't even know what they're going to do next.
yeah. And then like the whole plot they did like in like with the Keyblade Wars.
Oh, yeah.
It was like even like with Xehanort, how they played him off in the end. It was like, okay, this is disappointing.
Yeah.
I have to play Kingdom Hearts and be a man about it. I just don't know.
Like I didn't even bother playing the DLC. I was just like, okay,
I didn't even know they had.
yeah, they had
Yeah.
like a Remind DLC.
Yeah, they had the DLC, and it was like it was not enough for me to. It was not enough to motivate me to go back and reinstall Kingdom Hearts 3 and play it again. I was just like, nah, I'm done with this shit, because I'll say this to anyone: you play Kingdom Hearts 3, you finish it and beat it. Now go play Kingdom Hearts 2 and tell me how you feel. Especially when you get all the way up into the end. You'll be like, bro, I did not like the feeling that you get when you finish Kingdom Hearts 2. I did not get that same feeling with 3. Knowing that 3 was we waited years for this
like
game.
10
Like
plus years, right?
yeah, like I remember I played Kingdom Hearts 2 when I was like in high school,
I was in elementary school,
and then
I was in middle school, so
and then when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, I'm like, finally, yes. I remember the E3 trailer for 2015. I'm like, yes, I cannot wait to play this game. I was hyped. I was mad excited. I played, finished it, beat it, and I'm just like,
I remember I got
like I felt robbed. I was like,
what was what I was looking for?
I felt so robbed, like towards the end, because you're going up against some of the enemies that you fought as bosses in previous Kingdom Hearts games, and you remember the ass beatings that you took from these guys.
Yeah.
And now you fight them at the end, and you're just like, wait, that's it? Like when I fought Xemnas for the final time, I'm just like, that's it?
yeah.
I had an epic ass battle to the point where me and Riku are just
Like dodging lasers.
Dodging lasers.
Like that
and
kind of
shit.
scene is just
That
pressing,
fight was badass.
pressing
Yeah.
triangle.
Like it was like phenomenal, especially like seeing like Riku getting stabbed. I was like, oh shit. And
then in Kingdom Hearts 1, you have Xehanort or whatnot. You had that version, and I remember the badass battle that you had with him, and I'm just like, that's it. And then finally you fight the true Xehanort, and yeah, the scenery is great and all, but it's just like it just did not give you that feel. And I was just like,
Man, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, it
some
wasn't like the
emulators.
feeling you got like when you played the first Kingdom Hearts and you beat Ansem.
Yes.
And you had Donald and Goofy. I was kind of expecting that, but no, it was like a little. It wasn't really like the best
Yeah.
ending.
yeah, it really wasn't. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
uninstall, uninstall, done.
But yeah, like, so I know, like since then, you know, I kind of like, I kind of like played more single player games on PS4 than like the
Same.
previous generations.
Understandable.
And now with PS5, I'm kind of like falling in love with games more so again.
I can see that.
And like I feel like now the game industry is kind of realizing a couple of things, but I'll get into that momentarily. So, but right now, like I just been playing PS5, PC, and Switch.
Nice.
I recently got the Metro Prime remastered.
Nice.
So
How do you like it? Because I haven't heard anything yet.
It's different. Like
It's different from the
like
original?
visually wise, it looks different, but the gameplay feels exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay,
But
that's good.
So like I appreciate Nintendo sticking to its guns on Metroid Prime remastered, and I'm looking forward to 2 and 3. So
Ooh.
hopefully 2 and 3 looks good.
Hopefully Nintendo announces Metro Prime 4, but we're not gonna talk
They
about
most
that.
likely will be ducking. We know this.
We've been waiting for years for Metro Prime 4 since
Yeah.
the Wii U, and it's still not here. I'm just saying. We want Metro Prime 4. Metro Prime 4. We want that. Give it to us.
God.
Thank you.
We need to tag some of these companies at this point to notice us. That's the next bold move.
Yeah.
So, what are your current thoughts on the state of gaming?
So my current thoughts on the state of gaming, like nowadays, I feel like gaming's gotten a little bit more. They turn into money bags, like from Spiral.
I agree.
So it's kind of. I feel lately, like, it's been like battle pass.
Yeah.
And if like you guys saw the gameplay trailer for Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, I think I said this with Kite Before Night. I'm like, they're literally calling themselves a Suicide Squad for what they're about to do.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's basically the same generic gameplay. No character had like each unique, and
It's just a skin at that point.
exactly
With barely any abilities.
And plus, when they had like said like battle pass on there, I'm like, okay,
For a single player game.
Yeah.
yes, a game series like like the Arkham series being like a full-fledged. You only have to pay a couple dollars for like cosmetics.
And if there was DLC, at least it'd be worth it.
Exactly. Like I feel like now the DLC is becoming more microtransactions than
Yes.
it was a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see it because
It's distasteful.
I'm a fan of Overwatch and I love the first Overwatch game.
Yeah.
$60. Like even though like every level up you get a loot box. I kind of enjoy that even though I never paid for any of the loot boxes.
Same.
But then with Overwatch 2, like, it's kind of like, it's free to play, but then you still have to grind to, like, get, the newest character. Or even you have to buy the battle.
Like, you have
pass.
to either A, earn a character, or B, buy the character. Which
Yeah,
is
and I feel like that's what pushed me away from, like, Overwatch altogether.
You saw the skin prices? They're
Yes.
stupid.
It's pathetic.
Like, one individual skin is $20.
That sounds about right.
And
for most free to play games, when it comes to like skins like that, it usually dangles between the $15 and $20 mark. Like that's it. Is it ridiculous? Yes, it is. Because I feel like a skin should be at best $5. $5.
And they're doing collaborations.
oh, yeah, plus the collaborations, it's...
very dumb.
No, it's ridiculous.
I respect it, but I still will claim that it's like idiocracy because they have two characters as One Punch Man characters.
Yeah.
Doomfist as Saitama, and they have Kiriko as Tatsumaki. Or, I'm sorry. Was it Hell? No, not Hell Tornado. I'm horrible with the names of One Punch Man characters. Not Fubuki. The other one, the short one.
Yeah, Tatsumaki.
Oh, Tatsumaki. Thank
Yeah.
God, I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh, my hero. Not the academia type. But the anime collaborations, like, everyone's been on that.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this before. But
Fortnite,
Call of
Fortnite's
Duty,
doing
Call of
it,
Duty.
Definitely.
Nikkei.
even PUBG.
God.
They had a Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration.
Oh, my gosh. You know, like I kind of do enjoy some free to play games, but it's just I feel like the whole industry is so oversaturated with it.
Yeah.
They know how to attract the weebs.
You know, and also kind of pushed me away from like Rocket League once it went free to play as well.
Yeah.
Because you have to grind even more because you'll get a crate, but then you have to grind more to get the key to unlock the.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, it's pathetic.
That's dumb.
That's extra steps of earning the extra steps.
Like, you know, I kind of miss those times where you literally play a game and then you unlock like certain things.
And then like you just follow the requirements of the game. Like,
Exactly. Kind of like with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
yes.
So, you know, you get like, you know, you could have a Keyblade. Yes, they actually modeled a Keyblade
Huh.
in the game as like your wrench,
That's funny.
and you can unlock it. And then, you know, I kind of miss like things like those.
Yeah.
And I also miss like how like some games like don't have like the bonus content that you know, like little behind the scenes things.
Not
Yeah.
Like, do you remember in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance the cooking with Scorpion
Yes.
Or the fact they had mini games.
or the mini games?
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid, but you know what? It's good to have something different with your games.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, just fun. And it's like that now that's not there anymore.
It's just straight.
And if they
online
want
service.
to add it, they're just gonna, you know, charge money for it, which is ridiculous. And it's almost like, nah.
Yeah. Like even like the DLC isn't like worthwhile as it used to, you know.
No.
Like back like in the 360 and PS3 era, you know, you could, you know, it's like literally like for $10 more, you'll get like more bang for your buck,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's, you know, like I kind of miss that.
In which each generation it just got progressively worse.
Like we're getting to a point where like
It's like a give me this right away.
I feel like it's gonna get to a point where like you beat one stage and and then they're gonna be like, oh, you want to play level 2? $4.99.
Yeah.
Oh, I die if I see that.
Yeah, and that's why I like games like, I don't care if people say it's overrated or whatnot. That's why I like games like Elden Ring, because you have hours and hours of content. Yes, you have a couple of recycled bosses.
And then on top of that, they already confirmed DLC coming.
Yes.
So
That actually looks like reasonable DLC.
Yeah, like they're like From Software when it comes to when they do their game DLCs, it's always 100% worth it, because you're even getting more content out of the game to, you know, increase the amount of time that you're going to spend playing the game, so, to the point where it's like, I got my money's worth. Dark Souls 3, I love that game more than I love Elden Ring, and I bought both of their expansion packs, and I've dumped so many hours in both of them because I'm just going around exploring and doing all this, you know, different shit. So yeah, it's worth the money. Bloodborne, granted, they need to release that game on PC.
of course,
Like,
The mods would be insane.
yes, release the game on PC, because the DLC, beautiful, great, but it was difficult as hell. So that's why games like that's why it has that community and it continues to grow, because it's just like, this is what we want our single player games to be. We want them to be long but fun. We want more content in it, so that way we can, you know, spend more hours doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, because I'm pretty sure you've seen videos of people doing different builds of their gameplay. Like, hey, I have a spellcaster build, I have a strength build, I have a defense build, I have like some kind of weird gimmicky build, I have a blood
I've seen
build.
the
Oh my gosh.
The memes are infinite with how people can do it.
Yeah.
That's how Elden Ring gained its attraction and won the video game awards, just because people were able to dish out content.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of content that you can literally make out of just, you know, games like that, where there's a lot of content, it's long, it's good content, and of course the game, it doesn't hold your hand because it's brutally difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get your ass handed to
I
you.
almost had tears in Caelid, and I still haven't beat Rodon yet.
oh my gosh.
I can help you with that.
Okay, good. I'll admit it.
And you know, and that's the thing I kind of like, you know, like a lot of those single player games are giving us more of the opportunity. Like recently, I got Hogwarts Legacy, and that game, you know, I thought I was gonna get into it, but
Is it actually good?
it's amazing.
Okay, good.
Like I was surprised with like all the side quests you can do, and you know, you kind of like grow off of that, you know. And I feel like more developers should like focus on those games. And if they wanted to add multiplayer, you know,
Oh, they
look
could
back. on
Yeah.
some of like the good,
Oh, it's
good
gonna
old
have a
glory
good-
days of like,
There's potential for it, from what it
Yeah.
looks like.
it doesn't really have to rely on the battle passes,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was just like the early pre-order purchases where you're able to do forbidden spells earlier, get certain A, B, C outfits. I'm not a fan of it, but I can respect it because the Harry Potter fans deserve to get something once in a while.
Yeah.
They haven't had many games since like Xbox
since the movie
days.
games.
Xbox days,
Oh yeah.
like literal Xbox and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Because I played the original like one on PlayStation 1, like the
Oh, yeah.
Sorcerer to Stone. I think up to Goblet of Fire. I played that, but I don't remember anything from Harry Potter, sadly.
I played those. I played those like on PC at the time, and somehow like the PC that my mom had at the time could run it. I was like, okay.
That is impressive. I had someone explain Harry Potter to me in Universal a while back on the ride.
Oh, man.
It's like British Naruto. I'm gonna save it till I die.
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, I got like my own fair share of Harry Potter, like especially like a couple years ago. It was my first time ever going to Universal,
Oh,
and
nice.
I was able to ride all the rides, including the Hagrid motorbike. And that ride was fucking phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, but going back to the conversation, it was, I kind of like miss like those games that like that's why like I kind of just go back into like the indie games.
Oh,
Yeah.
Indie
yes.
games kind of like have like
They have their own like little
they're
taste,
inspired
their
from
own
like the
spice.
old games, but
Yeah.
they make it feel new.
Yeah.
That's why I love Shovel Knights.
Ooh,
Like that,
you're the second person I know that said this.
Shovel Knight's been like it has like its mix of Dark Souls and Mega Man.
And on a 2D platform.
And on a 2D platform. And then there's a few games that have been catching my eye too, like Pizza Tower.
You know about the Pepino.
Yes, I know about the Pepino.
Yeah, the game is basically a 2D platformer, and
It's
you have-
Waterland inspired.
Nice.
And you also have style points, which is hilarious. I've been seeing these TikToks recently of it. I'm like, who the fuck is Pepino? And it's just this guy dressed up as Bob's from Bob's Burgers with a chef hat.
And even like the animation looks a lot like it has like that Nickelodeon Cartoon Network mixed with like Microsoft Paint.
Yes, it's poorly like drawn, and it's perfectly fine for the way it looks. But like they even have a grading of the game. Like if you do very well, it's not an A, it's a P for Pepino. But I just like been watching these people speed run and do certain things like ground pound and jump or like dashing, and then I've just seen like the style points at the end where he just randomly breakdances and has JoJo poses. Like the game is a JoJo reference.
Yeah,
It's so stupid, but I respect that.
I also kind of like those surprise release games.
Yes.
For example, like Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they
Like,
just came out of the blue for Xbox Game Pass. I'm like, okay.
and it's only available for cloud gaming, which is fine with
Yeah.
me. I might play it later.
It's a fun game, but though you have like a good beat to music, so you have to be like,
Like you have to know your timing
yeah,
or have rhythm, as some people would address it as.
yeah.
Yeah, games like that where it's it's new, unique, people never heard of it before. That's when it's exciting because most of these games, like some games that we know, like the big AAA games, we can all agree that they're not getting better as far as like content and doesn't keep us engaged as it did prior in the past. Like for me, I don't play Call of Duty as much because it's just like I've played it for so much. I can always go back to the older days where like the best one everyone already knows is Black Ops 2.
Yep.
Everyone knows Call of Duty Black
Hands
Ops 2
down.
is number one. And when compared to these other games, yes, in visuals they look good. Of course it's gonna beat Black Ops 2 in visuals, cool. But when it came to like the gameplay and everything that's in that game for that one price that you paid for, Black Ops 2 is always gonna be superior. Always gonna be superior, and that's how I feel with most AAA games. Even some of the single player games, like I do like where PlayStation is going, catering more to single player games and making them more story based. But I'm just like, do something a little bit different before this formula gets stale, because it's gonna slowly become predictable. Like, I love God of War Ragnarok, but it was just like, it's like, what's a better way to phrase it? It's like Last of Us. It's like Last of Us, but with Norse mythology.
Oh wow,
Really?
that's a bold statement. I like.
Wow.
Yeah. Last of Us, but with Norse mythology, because
Ooh, it is.
Okay.
Because-
Gonna get shivers timber tonight.
because when you look at that, and then you look at games like God of War 3, which I love to this day, it's like, I will play God of War 3 over Ragnarok any day of the week. Like, I will, like, now that I finished Ragnarok, I don't even play the game no more. I don't even touch it, because it's just
It's like one of those one-hit wonders.
yeah, that's what it is for me, because it's just like, okay, I'm done, because I was just in it for the story, finish the story, and now it's like, okay, I'm done. Yeah, I can do most of these other side quests or whatnot, but it's just like, I'd rather not. God of War 3, I played that game so many times, and I would still play it over Ragnarok. I'll even play 2 and 1 over Ragnarok.
I gotta do a playthrough one of these days. I'm gonna get some emulators. But anyway.
Yeah, I do miss like a lot of like that replayability that games have.
Yeah, and it's
Even like the remasters too. I kind of happy that game developers are doing remasters, but like lately some of them have been a little hit and miss.
yeah.
For example, like the Crisis Core Reunion.
Ooh.
Like visually it looks beautiful, but the voice acting for Zack,
I've heard.
it sounds like bad '90s anime dubbed.
Dear God.
It's bad. Like he'll literally yell like "NGO," and it sounds terrible than the PSP version that you hear.
I don't think Square Enix thought that far ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it gets to a
Like
point
it's
where
nostalgic. Like I love the gameplay and everything. It's just the voice acting.
It doesn't feel like a Final
It
Fantasy.
doesn't really feel like with Zack especially. It's like everyone else did fine. It's just Zack is just like, it's a miss. And
Yeah.
then there's some moments where he'll sound good, but then everyone's just like, ugh,
That bites.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the argument where people say that they are tired of remasters and remakes and whatnot. I like that argument, because you don't like it until it's a game that you would want remastered or remade.
Yep. That's good.
But it is getting to the point where it's just like, okay, I think this is getting too much. But of course, you're going after games that were very popular back at the time, like. A game that I would say that has been like remastered too much, or like there's like so many versions of it,
We
is
can go on about this.
Resident Evil 4. Like,
Resident
good
Evil
lord.
4 and Skyrim.
And GTA.
Yes.
Oh, and GTA 5.
And Grand Theft Auto is like, my God,
Those are
they just keep bringing this game back. Like Resident Evil 4, not the shit on it. It's a great game. It's a solid game.
But just stop making it.
Well, at least
Because-
they're remaking it for PS5.
I think they changed a couple things, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's barely noticeable.
Yeah, because it's
Like
it
as
was
long
a-
as it's not as obvious as Resident Evil 3 remakes where they cut the clock tower.
Yeah.
So
like you had, because it was originally a PS2, GameCube, and Xbox game. Then of course they had to make one for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Then they had to make it again for the PS4 and the Xbox
let me ask
One.
you, what do you think is a good time frame to remaster a game?
After I would say 2 console generations.
Okay.
Personally, I'd say
As long as it's not like
5 to
you know,
7 years.
As long as it's not like like The Last of Us Part 1.
Oh my God.
Here we
you know-
go again. Here
Oh
we
my
go
God.
again.
Like that was an unnecessary remake.
Yes. Last of Us Part 1 was so unnecessary to remaster, because the fact that you already had the remastered version on the PS4.
Exactly.
That is a PS3 game.
Hold on,
all they
hold
had
on,
to
hold on.
do, and all they had to do was just update it to make it run at 4K 60, and boom, put it on the PS5. Done. But instead, they remastered the game, upgrade the visuals, and charge you $70 for it.
Hold on.
And
Did
then
they
the
have a Game of the Year
developers.
edition?
What's up?
Didn't they had a Game of the Year edition, or that was a Last
Yeah,
of Us Part 2?
no. The first Last of Us had a Game of Year edition,
So stupid.
but
And then the developers had the audacity to say that, oh, this is not a cash grab. Yes, the fuck it is, because you can
is.
get the PS4 version of The Last of Us Part 1 played on the PS5 and no
That's
problems.
what I'm saying.
You could just literally do that, but instead, no, they just had to go that route because they want to get that extra money. Fuck them.
yeah.
Oh man, poor Naughty Dog. That's a weird.
But they
state of
won't.
gaming.
But they won't remaster Uncharted. Of course you won't.
or Jack and Dexter.
Yeah.
Everyone's been asking for Jack and Daxter remaster that.
Like,
oh, they
it's-
don't want to touch it, but they'll remaster that shit. Nah, fuck them.
It is a very simple game with a loading screen that's creative. Like, you can work with a game that does not function as like normally as Last of Us.
Like, I'll pay the $70 to get a
Oh.
remastered version of Jack and Daxter 1, 2, and
Like
3.
a trilogy and a
Yeah.
racing game, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Of course.
I'll do that. Easy. You'll have my money then. But
Add Dexter for an extra $10, I'll do it too.
yeah. But other than that, no. Like, no. Fuck them.
I know they made it really complex. That's a like state of gaming. It feels like it's been still continuously more of a cash grab.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's sickening, and this is why I'm going to become a pirate. Like a no, hard, motherfucker.
Hey, times are hard, man.
Yes, they are.
Times are hard. So, what moments could you describe to us, and of course to our viewers and listeners?
Let's see.
You had to be there. Like, give us like 2 of your best moments. Like, yo, you literally had to be there to experience
Alright.
this.
So some of my greatest moments. Actually, there was one last year.
Really?
Last year, a bar called Smash Marie was hosting a Mario Kart tournament.
Right.
And they hosted it on Mario Day
Oh,
last year.
that's actually cool.
So, after work, I was just like, oh, look, a Mario Kart tournament. I'm good at Mario Kart, but I don't think I'm that good because, I lost a couple of times in tournaments. I kind of get like Eminem, from 8 Mile, where he's just like, arms are sweaty kind of thing,
Weak arms and heavy.
Yes.
I can go on. Continue.
So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll join it. So I went to the tournament, and there are moments where, I had like my good classic characters. I main Lemmy from Lemmy the Coupling with with the rainbow mohawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
With bike with tiny wheels, and at first I was losing the first couple of rounds, and then there were moments where like I was starting, where I kind of got momentum. I was like, okay, let me just race, and then I think it was like, I raced, and then I won I went the past couple of rounds, and then I think I went into like the semi-finals. And, I think at the time, there were like a couple drunk people like playing Mario Kart. Somehow they made it to like the quarterfinals.
That's awesome.
And there were moments where like we were racing, and this guy literally like it was literally like the third lap. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get second place, and somehow the probability that I got a red shell out of the blue literally before you reached the finish line was mind blowing. So as soon as I got it, I hit him with the red shell.
Oh.
He didn't cross the finish line, which I thought he was, and I made first place.
That's
Nice.
gambler's luck right
I
there.
was like, holy crap.
Oh my god.
And like the whole bar went wild.
that poor man must have been just like
Yes, they were like, holy shit. Like,
That man got robbed.
that's a scheme ass moment.
and and that was literally I think that was like the second, like that was like the first race, so I made it to first place. And then I kept on playing, and I was just like, I'm gonna give sportsmanship. I was like, you know what, guys, let's go Rainbow Road N64. And I'm like, I don't care who wins this round, but I'm glad I'm winning it with all of you. And
Aw.
we played, and I won first place.
Nice.
I don't care who
And
wins.
And I feel like I kind of became like an urban legend at that bar because
The urban legend.
it's like a guy named Mario entered a Mario Kart tournament on Mario Day.
And didn't play Mario.
I didn't play Mario,
The irony, I love it.
and I won like a lot of things. Like I won like this tile of like a question mark. I won I got a little trophy with it.
Aw, that's
Like
cool.
I told myself if I didn't get a trophy, I was going to 3D print one, but
Genius move.
I'm like, okay.
That's the way to do it.
So I ended up getting a trophy, and like they also like photoshopped like this little thing, like I was like in the Mario tube, and they made like a background. Like I gotta show you guys. It was.
Please do. I cannot wait to see
if I
it.
could, let me pull it up. Real
You can
quick.
always show us afterwards if anything.
Like it was yeah. Yeah. But it was like one of those go-to moments. And let's see.
Your second one.
My second one. Let's see. My second one has to be. So, has anyone ever played the Lost Levels of Super Mario Brothers?
Lost Levels.
I don't think I've played it.
Okay,
No.
so in Japan, you had they had Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2, and then they released Super Mario Brothers 2, but it wasn't but like the U.S. Mario Brothers is a little different.
I've heard.
Okay, so Japan made a sequel to Super Mario Brothers 1, which looked exactly like Super Mario Brothers.
Oh.
And then they imported it to Super Mario All-Stars and called Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels.
I did not know it existed, actually.
And like that game is crazy because sometimes like there'll be moments where like you think you reach a warp area, but then it'll be a backwards warp. So you'd be like, so let's just say you're in World 5, and then you find a backwards warp and you go back to World 2. Yes,
What?
It's that dastardly, and it has poison mushrooms. It's
What?
That sounds chaotic.
I
So-
did not know this kind of
My God.
like demon-like work existed. That stunned me for a second, just knowing that.
it's a nightmare of a Mario game.
Judas Priest.
So there was this one moment where I think I was in the last world in Lost Levels, and somehow, I was fired powered and everything, and the last little bit where Bowser was. I don't know. He was like very overpowered. Like he had like flamethrowers. He had like the hammers throwing at you.
Oh no, it's
So,
that Bowser.
So one of the fires hit me, and then I went Tiny Mario. And somehow, I was like, "Oh shit! How am I gonna go through?" I think I only had like 2 lives left. So somehow, that Bowser was like shooting flames, and then he was throwing quadruple and somehow I felt one of those hammers like hit me,
Oh.
and I somehow like went over it, and I jumped over Bowser, and yes, it's like one of those retro moments that you had to be there.
Yeah, that literally has to be something you can
So
see.
it's
Because
like-
processing a small... Wait, it's 8-bit, right? Or
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's 8-bit, but
just processing 1 bit going over it already just fucks me up. I'm thinking about this logically now. That's cool.
yeah, it was insane. Like that Mario, like Lost Levels. If you ever play it,
I don't know if I'm mentally capable of it.
like if you could play Dark Souls, then you'd be able to play Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. But it's a nightmare
Wow,
of a game.
that's a bold ass statement. I love that.
It's a really insane game, and it's like one of those moments you had to be there.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So, what are your gaming pet peeves? Give us 3 of your
Let's
gaming
see.
pet peeves. Things that
You-
annoy you in gaming.
Online, offline.
Let's see. So, some of my annoying pet peeves is probably like that one guy who knows how to scope, and then as soon as you spawn, they just shoot you on the spot. Like, you ever had that like in Call of Duty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or in Halo?
That's griefing at its finest.
Yes, it's like It's like, oh wait, this guy's gonna spawn right here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Like what?
That's what they classify as griefing. I fucking hated that.
Oh my
That's when you played the game so much and you know where the spawns are. You know where they're gonna spawn at.
Like
There's people like that.
That just can't go outside and spawn lives, but they can just take yours out. I'm so sorry.
it's. I think also another pet peeve is like sometimes when they win and they act so like they kind of act so one-uppy. It's like, or when they complain if you're like in a co-op mission. So like in GTA 5, they'll be like screaming at you or stupid things. You'll be like yo, I got the load, get in, and you know, and they get so annoying. It's like I was like, God damn, you fucking lost. What a piece of shit, you know.
Oh yeah, that's people that take the role playing way too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that so seriously, like in Heist.
That's why I can't touch that game. It's just too much.
Oh my gosh.
And grief.
Like they kind of like got like their toxicity from Payday 2 and brought it to
no.
GTA 5.
You brought one specific game into the other, and that makes 100% sense. That's right.
Yeah.
On the money.
Yeah, because
Yep.
in Payday 2, it's like literally that same shit, and we're probably gonna experience that again with Payday 3.
Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh
Just
my
think about that.
gosh.
But yeah, so griefing and people that take a game way too serious.
Yes.
A co-op game.
Yeah.
You're supposed to play with others.
Or like you even see it like also like I have a friend of mine that like plays Madden all the time, and he's obsessed with Madden.
Oh, boy.
And sometimes when he's playing online, he'll literally like sometimes he'll think he'll press a button, but then like his character will miss, and he'll be like, fuck, I pressed X, and then he'll sometimes be in the same room right next to you, and then like when he makes a touchdown, he'll be like, yeah, that's my freaking boy. Like he'll be,
Oh my god. His own personal hype man.
yes.
Those are the people that scare me.
Yeah. Madden's like that.
I've never played a sports game, so that's how I never knew. Except for Fight Night.
Oh my gosh, Fight Night. But like usually like those people, I'm just like, bro, calm down. It's just a game.
It is, but they're in the zone. Like they're like focused. They got their game mind set, and they're like committed to it. So that's why like when they make a mistake, they'll get mad. They'll throw a fit. They'll throw their controllers or whatnot. But when they win, they get hyped as hell or whatnot. They feel motivated, because I used to play Madden when I was growing up and whatnot. And I remembered my field days where, granted, I didn't play online. I always played, against, computer or other people. But if I were to play Madden online, I would know exactly how to feel. It's the same could be said for people who also play like games like 2K and FIFA, where they're
UFC.
playing,
Gosh, FIFA.
where they're playing online against other people, whatnot, and they want to completely shit on the other person. That's exactly what it is. They want to shit on the other person so bad, and that's why those games, like they're online, like they stay toxic.
Yes, they have no choice but to stay toxic.
Yeah, because especially if it's a close game, yeah, mics are being turned on.
yeah.
You're gonna hear people raging.
Okay, when it's
whatnot.
a close game, I understand. But if
Yeah.
you're like throughout the whole game,
It's
you're kind of like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
They're in it. They're mentally in the game. And they're just like, I'm just trying to, make the right calls, making sure that I keep scoring, I keep having a high score. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like people of UFC where they have their +5 or like maxed out characters going against like a regular normal fighter. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm the best of this game. No, you're not. You're using your maxed out characters.
I mean, as they should.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I never understood the sports gamer's perspective. That scares me.
Yeah. Well, luckily we will be having sport games tournament here at the arcade.
Oh,
So
that's
I think
exciting.
next week, Saturday, the first one is FIFA, and I think next
Oh.
month it's gonna be Madden and I believe NBA 2K.
Oh
So
my god, I gotta see this.
Anything on NBA Jam?
nah, no, not that I know of, but it's a different group of guys that they're gonna be the ones hosting it and running it. They're called. I think you can find them on Instagram called the Mega Bowl. So
Yeah, I follow him.
yeah, so they're going to be the ones that's going to be doing Madden, FIFA, and NBA 2K here at Flynn's, but it's going to be a monthly tournament just to get a crowd of people, see what it's like, and then if that grows into something bigger, then hey, it grows into something bigger. But there are going to be, FIFA, I don't see a lot of rage moments.
No, not at all.
I don't see it as often, maybe because I'm not looking for it. But I know Madden 2K.
It's gonna be 2K. I'm putting my money on 2K. People are
Yeah.
gonna be more rage.
Yeah.
I will come to 2K just to watch this. I don't even play basketball. It's gonna be like the sports version of Smash Players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said- Prove me wrong.
Well, with everything said, Superoiram, is there anything else you would like to share with us before we close it on out?
Oh, no, I want to take a moment to thank you guys for having me. And, you can always find me on Instagram under Superoiram. And, you can always, if you're down to play games, just let me know. I'm super down to play. Currently I'm on Steam and Switch.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Too much work to ask for a friend code.
And Mario Kart, so.
Ooh, I respect that.
All right. Well, Luigi, any closing remarks?
Thank you so much for joining us. I can't believe I recognized you from MizuCon last
Oh,
year.
yes.
I remember specifically because I just saw your Vigilante cosplay, and then I remember I had to go to a wedding that same exact day. So the people within that, that actually seen us live and apply, that definitely means a lot to me. Like, people that can just join and express their thoughts and their feelings on gaming itself. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, thank
Plus,
you.
your story is awesome, actually.
Thanks.
What about you, brother?
Well, as for me, Superoiram, thank you for joining us on this episode. Greatly appreciate you having you on. We kind of share the same similarities with certain games, like our disappointments with Kingdom Hearts 3 and things like that. And I believe like your gaming background is almost as similar as mine, since I also myself I grew up on my first console I started off with was the NES, but I didn't own it. But I would say Super Nintendo is where I really kicked things off, and then N64, then I ended up getting the PS2, and so on and so forth. So we do share some similarities with each other, and I'm glad to have you on.
Thank
Do
you.
look forward to having you on in future episodes with other guests
definitely.
as well. So, that'll also be exciting. And other than that, I mean, we got nothing much else, and we can go ahead and wrap this up
Yeah.
and put a bow on it.
Yep.
So, with that being said, I would like to thank everybody for watching and tuning in. Greatly
you guys
appreciate
so
y'all.
much.
And of course, you can always support the podcast by subscribing to the Twitch. Greatly appreciate it. You can also follow us on our socials. And, the podcast is available on TikTok. We do have a TikTok account, which is South Florida Gamers Podcast. You'll find us there. And same thing with our Instagram, like South Florida Gamers Podcast. And audio, you already know, it's going to be available everywhere on any audio hosting platforms. SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, you name it, we're there.
Just look us up.
And video playback will be later on for YouTube and Facebook later on throughout the week. So this has been episode 74 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast, and we are signing out.
Peace.
Peace out.